Good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy to be here with you, sharing a few lovely records from my collection. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a beautiful day or evening, whatever the case may be. And today, my theme is eclectic. So, these are albums from all over the world, including the United States. I've always enjoyed international music, so folk music and also popular music from different regions. Kind of sparks my imagination, and I think about the sentiments and the experiences that unify us as people, and also the differences and preferences according to different time periods, different cultures. It's fascinating. So, without any further exposition, let's get started. The first record is from one of my favorite singers ever. It's the best of Edith Piaf, an incredibly famous and fantastic French singer of the same era of Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tony Bennett. I've always been intrigued by her life, her passion, her beautiful artistry, as well as the tragedy that she faced at various points of her life. And you can hear all of that, I think, in the deep emotion of her voice. It's just incredible. I'd like to read just a little bit of the text on the back of the cover. I think it describes her talent really well. The Piaf voice was an unequaled instrument for the expression of the entire range of human emotion. There is an excitement in its merest whisper. At fuller volume, it communicates everything from lusty power to ribald humor, and from the depths of human misery to the exaltation of romance. The little sparrow of France grew up in the streets of Paris and knew firsthand the hard luck and heartbreak she sang about in her songs. These things she translated with rare artistry into an astonishing series of deeply compelling recorded performances. I'll read you some of the songs on this album here. I just wanted to show you first, though, beautiful Edith Piaf herself. You can just see the emotion on her face, her beauty, her drama. On the first side, and please forgive my very imperfect French pronunciations. The first side, and by the way, you could see right here the little price tag from the thrift store. Hope it's not too distracting. So the songs on the first side are La vie, l'amour, Le trois cloches, La vie en rose, Milo, C'est un beau. And on the second side, we have De beau tu sais, Mon manège à moi, Hymne l'amour, Bravo pour le clown, C'est l'amour, Non je ne regrette rien. So beautiful. You also can see the other Edith Piaf records that were available from Campbell Records at the time. Let's see when this was published. Sometime after 1963. Yes. Let's see. Doesn't state the date on the record itself, so it will remain a mystery. Alright, thank you, Edith. Moving along. This next record is not the most unusual, at least in my opinion, in my collection. It's one I found at a garage sale quite some time ago. I was intrigued by the monk chants. It is a collection of Gregorian chants by Trappist monks who lived at the Abbey of Gethsemani, Kentucky, with program notes by Thomas Merton. So I will show you. It's not in the best shape. I've listened to it a lot, and I can't say it was in the best shape when I got it either. I like these little crinkles, don't you? So I don't speak Latin, but I'll do my best to read the title. Laudate, Dominum. Yes, that's as close as I'm going to get. It's beautiful. I really like religious music. I'm more of a spiritual person, to be honest with you. But than any kind of dogmatic person, although I respect everyone's beliefs. I do love spiritual music of different cultures. I love that people are trying to, through music, connect with something greater than themselves, connect with each other. And there's something very comforting about this album. I will read a few of the notes on the back by Thomas Merton. Kind of interesting background on Gregorian chants. So, Gregorian chant, the ordinary vehicle of monastic communal prayer. I just like the idea of communal prayer as well. Plays an important part among the externals of the liturgical life. Plain chant is characterized by its simplicity. All the voices unite to sing the melody, which is enabled by its free rhythm to adapt itself entirely to the texts which it is meant to enhance. Here, song is entirely subordinated to thought and to prayer. The only function of a chant is to point out the spiritual content of a sacred text. I do love the simplicity of it. the quality of this recording is really interesting. You can tell that it's been recorded perhaps in like a large cavernous building, probably a cathedral, and it's quite lo-fi, so you can hear a little bit of ambient sounds, a little bit of the resonance, and a little bit of the echo of the voices singing the chants. I love to hear this kind of lo-fi recording because it really gets my imagination going. It really makes me think of a time and a place that encapsulated this music, which is now becoming part of my life. And I've always had a kind of synesthesia with music as well, around picturing music as something like a color or a scene, and it's all more evocative when I can hear a little bit of the spatial context of the recording. So as viewers who enjoy ASMR, I can imagine many of you may have experienced something similar with lo-fi recordings. There's something very romantic about it. Poetic. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. This in this crinkly package, and it's interesting because it actually is labeled with the name and address of the owner, the previous owner. So a little bit more of that history and the story behind it, which is one of the many reasons I love vinyl, vintage vinyl specifically. There's a story behind it. If there's the story of the music, and there's also the story of the context around it. So, moving along. This is another one I really love. I have several of this artist's records, but this is Sabicus, and the record is called Flamenco Puro. So flamenco music is another very emotional, evocative types of art, types of sound that I enjoy. And living in the region where I do, I have been exposed to flamenco music from an early age, and I was always really captivated by the percussiveness of not just the guitar playing, but the dancing, special shoes, the stomping. I don't know what the moves are called. I'm sure it's something a lot more graceful than what I'm describing, but yeah, and just the emotion behind it. I guess that's a little bit of a theme that's emerging here, that universal emotion that music evokes. So I believe that Sabicus in the 1960s popularized flamenco in the United States. He probably was not the only one, but he was a noteworthy artist. I can read you a little bit about that from the liner notes, which I'll show you here. And really, by the way, I just love this color combination. Just incredible. This beautiful lavender with the warm orange. Alright, I'll read a little bit now. I will say that it looks like he brought flamenco to the United States or to the Americas in the 1930s. So, Flamenco Puro, pure flamenco, is truly a fitting title for this record. As a matter of fact, it was suggested by Sabicus himself, and thereby hangs a tale which goes a long way toward helping us understand the art of flamenco, Sabicus and Flamenco Puro. In 1937, young Spanish guitarist left his native Spain for a tour of South America. Sabicus, just turned 20, was already established as one of Spain's leading flamenco guitarists. Born in 1917 in Pamplona, he began to play the instrument at the age of 5. Without the benefit of formal instruction, he was ready for his first public performance by the age of 8. Just 3 years later, as a boy of 11, he won an important prize in a nationwide contest in Madrid. Scores of concerts and performances followed. Then he formed his own company and embarked on his first tour of South America. Very interesting. Moving on, I have an traditional Irish folk music record called The Irish Tradition. And the title of this album is The Quarter House. This is a beautiful record. Just a beautiful recording. It is very well done without being overly produced, overly polished. There's so much texture to it. So much feeling. So much beauty. It actually was not a group formed in Ireland. So this group was formed in the United States, in Washington, D.C., in 1975. So I will remove the record for a moment so I can read to you some of the songs on it. So you can see there's a really cute little bird on it. It's going to be upside down because in order to read it right side up, the opposite side will be upside down. So the A side of this record looks like it was produced by Green Linnet, Smash the Windows, Windmills, In and Out of the Harbor, The Maid in the Spinning Wheel, Do You Want Any More, The Hiring Fair, and The Quarter House. On the B side, we have Loftus Jones, The Spike Island Lassies, The Dark-Eyed Sailor, Molly on the Shore, England's Motorway, The Congress Reel. Probably my favorite song on this album is The Dark-Eyed Sailor. It has a beautiful melody. It's really kind of sad, but who doesn't love a sad song? I love a sad song. Alright. So, another type of folk music from the United States. Here we have the Green River Boys and Glen Campbell in the Big Bluegrass special. So here you can see some images of them recording. This is a monophonic record, and the songs on it are Truck Driving Man, There's More Pretty Girls Than One, Weary Lonesome Blues, No Vacancy, Raining on the Mountain, Kentucky Means Paradise. On side 2, we have Brownsbury Blues, Lonesome Jailhouse Blues, 100 Miles Away from Home, This Old White Mule of Mine, Poor Boy Looking for a Home, Long Black Limousine. I really like the description of bluegrass as a genre on the back, so I'm going to read a little bit to you. Bluegrass is more than a style of music. It's a spirit. Like Kentucky, the state whose nickname it is borrowed, bluegrass is wild and free. But it is also folksy and sentimental, for it captures the memories of a land that's rich with legend and deep in feeling. It matured in the Appalachians and Ozarks for more than 100 years. It may well have begun with the Boones, but it wasn't until the advent of radio that its sounds came down from the mountains. Since then, it has been imitated, integrated with other styles, and rendered almost unrecognizable by some performers, but undiluted in its country music in its purest form. I have a special place in my heart for bluegrass music. I used to play in a bluegrass band. I used to sing and play rhythm guitar, and I just love these songs. The last record that I would like to share with you is a record called Living Voices Sing Songs of the West. This is choral music, so choral arrangements, all men's voices, singing traditional cowboy/cowgirl songs. Because I have cowboy and cowgirl roots, I think that this type of music has always felt like part of the legend that brought me into existence. You know, the legend of my origin. We all have some story of our families or our past, you know, how we come about. And this one really speaks to me. And also, the songs are beautiful. The melodies are incredible. You can just imagine being out alone on the prairie or out alone in the wilderness, singing just to pass the time, to keep from becoming lonely. They're just beautiful songs. I like this little illustration on the back. And just such beautiful songs. I will read to you at least one of the sides. Let's see. Bury me not on the lone prairie. I ride old paint. Take me back to my boots and saddle. Home on the range. The old Chisholm Trail. And wagon reels. I just love the melodies of these songs. Makes me want to sing just to look at this. Well, looks like we have reached the end of our little collection. So I want to thank you for joining me. I hope that you found this video interesting, relaxing, or beneficial in your own personal way. And I want to thank you for joining me. Good night.